Hi, Rook. Can I ask you a question? Actually, never mind. Don't worry about it.
Okay, you're several lines ahead of me here. Let's start with me saying, hi, Balara.
Right. Okay. It's just, the elf thing. We're fighting our gods. Our gods. It feels a little surreal, and I know surreal.
Yeah, you and Davern have it rough. At least we're only fighting your gods because they're evil. Maybe not the most helpful point to make.
No, it actually helps a little. But still, those are our gods out there, rampaging around. Maybe people don't trust us. Maybe they shouldn't.
Every culture in Thedas has skeletons in its closet. Orlais, Ferelden, most of Tevinter's skeletons aren't even trying to hide. But that isn't who the elves have been for centuries.
That feels too easy. Like we're not taking responsibility. And I don't know, I feel guilty. Anytime I think about it, really.
So who's that helping?
Who's what helping?
Feeling guilty.
Well, no one, I guess, but then what should I do?
It'd be easy to pretend that stories about the benevolent elven gods were true, but we know they weren't.
So what do I do? To make up for them, I mean.
Be honest. About who you were, but also about who you are now. The past doesn't define you.
Is it that easy, though? Just being honest?
Honesty's hard work, but it's the right kind of work. It's important work.
Right. I get it. It's hard. All of it's hard. But I feel better. A little bit, anyways. Thanks for talking to me and listening to me.
I'm no bard, but I can talk. Glad it helped.
Well, you're good at it. See you later, Rook.
Davrin. Davrin. About Weishaupt. One less archdemon in the world. At least you made them pay.
It wasn't enough. That's Renaud. Malmond. Anya. We used to argue. Who'd be the one to take an archdemon down? Who'd die so that others could live? Not sure any of us believed it'd actually happen.
When the moment came, you did the Wardens proud.
Did I? Because I'm still here. They're not.
There's no getting them back, but at least they died heroes.
And I should have joined them. A Grey Warden kills an archdemon, they're supposed to die.
Who knows what happened? Maybe the gods changed things and the old rules don't apply. Why is being alive a problem?
Because I didn't expect to be here. Grey Wardens have an expiration. It pushed me.
There's more fight to go.
And if we manage to pull that off?
You'll do what you do best. Hunt monsters.
Plenty of people can do that. I'm talking purpose. I feel like a blade sharpened all these years to confront the worst darkness in the world. And my blade struck true at Weishaupt. What now?
Well, you'll raise the sun to create a world where the light outshines the darkness.
Yeah? Well, let me tell you. That will require a lot more gingerwort truffles.
Hey, there are worse jobs than being a professional truffle hunter.
Don't start.
He seems to like the idea.
Guess we're stuck with each other, boy. No getting rid of me now. Someday I might actually know what that means.
While you sort that out, maybe you and Lucanus can try to bury the hatchet?
Yeah,
He had a rough time of it too.
I know. That was an incredible shot he took at Gillinane.
Then tell him that. Because fighting each other won't help us defeat the gods.
But we've got help. The Wardens, Shadow Dragons, Crows, Veil Jumpers, we're all in this together.
We are, but they've all got their own problems. If we want their help, we have to help them first.
Is that a plan I hear forming?
I think it could be. Thanks, Davern.
Nev, that coffee in the kitchen, you made it?
Keen eye.
Did you boil it? If so, why?
I'm not picky. I got a cup and it does the job. That's all I ask.
I don't know where to go with this.
I think your coffee hurt his feelings.
Apologies to you and the beans.
That could only hurt me if I drank it.
So what's the coffee for?
What isn't it for? The Venator used the dragon attack for a power grab. Now they treat Docktown like their personal playground. I've heard more cries for help than I can count. And now the Threads have reached out.
The Minrathus crime syndicate.
Smuggling, extortion, protection rackets. The Threads do it all. They stay out of slavery and they hate Venatori. Enough to keep picking fights. My contact in the Threads, Alec, wants to talk. He doesn't reach out for nothing.
If you need backup, I'm happy to help.
I don't expect you to show up for Docktown, Rook.
But I will, really.
If you need more coffee, I'll make it.
Well now, is that sweet or trying to save me from myself?
Let's call it both.
An archdemon falls, but light spreads. The crossroads are in need, dweller.
Lucanus? Are you in here brooding?
I'm fine.
That's not a no.
I had her. She should have never gotten away from me. This was our contract, Rook. I don't fail my contracts.
Just think how much more satisfying it'll be when you do take her down.
We cannot count on a second shot. I thought I still had this. Whatever else I am, I'm a professional. After the ossuary, I thought at least I could still take out a target. I need to work.
Gillenane was a giant face in the clouds, Lucanus. I asked you to stab a cloud.
And I missed the damn cloud.
My point is, that was impossible, and you still almost did it. That's not small.
I was distracted. That cannot happen again. I need to get my head on straight.
Whatever you need to do.
Have you been to talk to the others? Davrin, especially. I think everyone might have things to deal with now. I should check in with the crows. Whatever the word is, I'll let you know. There's nothing like work to focus the mind.
Shouldn't have to deal with all this, Rook. The sooner I can get out of here, the better.
Hey, am I interrupting?
Done in a sec. Morning ritual. The Darsam.
Those are the ropes people who follow the Kyun wear?
We bind ourselves to remember who we are. Tie down the stuff that's too dangerous to leave loose. My mother made me do it every morning before breakfast. I had big fingers. Used to take me forever. Avatash. Shokratoebra. Only a beast is confounded by knots. A girl masters herself and the Darsam.
Looks like you got them under control eventually.
Yeah.
Rook, Tosh, glad I caught you both. The Grey Wardens found a cave that one of the Blighted Dragons uses as its lair.
Where?
In the Husberg wetlands. There's no sign of the dragon itself, though.
I should check it out. We need to know how different the Blighted Dragons really are. They might turn into something like Gillenane's archdemon did. If there's a clue, I have to be ready.
The fall of Weishaupt reverberated across the Fade, as did the fall of an archdemon.
But unless I am mistaken, both Elganan and Gillenane yet stand.
We took down Gilnenane's archdemon, but we weren't able to kill her.
And how are you doing?
I came to you to figure out our next steps. I don't need a shoulder to cry on.
Of course. As a leader, you are wise to put away concerns and show only confidence to your team. And your adversaries. At least you still have Varric to talk to. What of your companions? How have they handled the events at Weishaupt?
They have what it takes to stop the gods. I just need to get them to believe it.
Indeed. They must know beyond any doubt that you believe in them. You cannot stand against Elganon and Gillenane with logic. Those motivated by greed or self-interest will change alliances, but those who serve you with passion and loyalty will follow wherever you lead, even to their deaths if necessary.
I knew I might have to make a call like that when Varric put me in charge.
A good leader never makes such a decision lightly. But when the time comes, it is better to be prepared. And perhaps it will not come to that. The stronger your team, the more chances you will have to avoid such a decision.
I'll keep that in mind. Do you have any suggestions on our next move against the gods?
If you oppose Elganon and Gillenane's minions, you will get your opportunity.
You think one of the Antam or Venatori commanders will help us find the gods?
Possibly. But more importantly, you will aggravate them. You rendered Gillenane mortal at Weishaupt. It is an embarrassment, an insult, neither she nor Elganon can ignore. If you continue to disrupt their plans, you will not need to track them down. They will come to you.
You think I can goad the gods into making a mistake?
I have absolute faith in your ability to aggravate enemies who should know better than to underestimate you. One final warning. You have survived a confrontation with Gillenane, which few still live to claim. But her power pales in comparison to Elganon's. If he takes the field himself, remember, in a fight such as ours, escaping to fight another day is a victory.
You call Manfred Fred?
Sure. He walked into my office. I said, Fred, can I call you Fred? He nodded. Seemed happy about it. If he doesn't like it...
Oh, Manfred doesn't mind. He quite likes you. Does the diminutive imply a certain level of comfort with the necromantic arts?
It shows a certain level of comfort with your friend. The rest of it, well, that depends.
On what?
On what the mage using it is up to.
What do spirits spend money on?
About that subject from before, I understand that your mother is quite the scholar, Tash.
Yep.
It must have been wonderful growing up learning from her.
Yeah, it was great.
Those are bones. Has this spirit been scattering someone's corpse around?
It considers this all a game. Let's return the remains to where they belong.
The bones we found just disappeared. Everything's calm. Looks like the candles worked.
I see some of my colleagues have begun the renewal of the vows. Thank you again for coming. My duties include tending to these rites of remembrance. Excellent. Manfred found his way down. Very good, Manfred.
He sounds excited.
I thought we'd start the rites here. A tableau of the dead, commissioned 173 years ago. These lives were flickers against the ages, precious, fragile, and finite. Now they serve as a warning. Don't linger overlong in the gloom. Live with grace and fervor while you may.
No one's gonna seize the day for you.
Just so. That one's livelier. Here. Who were you when you breathed above?
This body was a tailor's, a mother's. She laughed and taught and wove the robes kings wore when they were crowned.
Someone must realign her thoracic vertebrae. I hope the novices are inspecting the displays.
Seems disrespectful to abandon something you built.
Precisely. No wonder there's been an uptick in hauntings.
Wait, what?
Let's continue.
So what now?
We light candles in remembrance of the dead. Would you care to light the candle, Rook? Look at this. The last tomb of the Tannhausens. A very influential family in the Storm Age.
We broke the bones of dragons.
A posthumous motto. Their last heir met his match against a Highland Ravager.
Death by dragon? I'm surprised there was enough to bury.
Do you know, I never expected that the door we found back in the Vault of the Beloved would lead here.
So the necropolis actually shuffles its rooms around?
From time to time. Very unlikely to happen while we're inside a chamber. Could you light the next candle? Aha! One of my favorite flowers! A variegated weeping widower.
You know your plants.
Alchemy is my hobby. It's a break from teaching spirit calling and theoretical applied metaphysics.
If you ever want a side job, the crows are always looking for new potions.
Yes, as I recall, you're rather famous for it. This way, Rook.
You were right about the gardens being peaceful.
The necropolis has its dangers, but these places are a refuge for the dead.
How many people are buried here anyway? Examining the graves?
You'll need to light these candles as well. Open your hearts to the final day, companion of all the ages. I was pleasantly surprised by your respect for our undead tableau earlier, Rook. I'm beginning to think people outside Navarra find the necropolis a little unnerving.
Crows have plenty of ceremony, believe me.
The spirits gather. Only a few more candles. Follow me. Ah, look here.
Hi? Should I say hi?
It's curious about you. We're also enjoying the gardens, but with one last ritual ahead. On your way, my friend.
Spirits really are your specialty.
I've always had a rapport with them. Even as a child, they were my companions.
After you started training here?
After I was orphaned.
Oh.
A collapsed building, swift deaths. After the funeral, the Watchers took me in.
They thought the necropolis was the best place for an orphan?
Better to learn death dwells all about us than be deaf when it calls. Yet, I was terrified of everything when I arrived.
And you still joined the Watchers?
They're what saved me. Come, the next set of graves lies ahead. Please, light the next candles if you would. There's much to recommend about the rhythm of a ceremony. It eases our worst hours. As a boy, the Watcher's rituals were exactly what I needed to steady my days with purpose.
And some death magic?
Well, every young mage needs a speciality. All this pageantry, this magnificent gloom and its rites. I ask you, Rook, what is it for?
It's gotta be the living, right?
Yes, exactly, exactly. This place is an abundance of history, of magic, of memories. The Watchers preserve it so the living may draw comfort from those who've gone before. We must get to the candle, please, Manfred.
You told Harding that Manfred used to be a wisp until you gave him a body.
Yes, he's taken so well to it. Haven't you, Manfred? Here are the last candles you'll need to light. Once you're ready, we'll need to ring the bell. Let the rites be acknowledged. Our bonds seen and sealed. We honor the listening spirits.
good watcher. Faith kept in all our paths.
What was,
The necropolis hosts many spirits. We thank these guardians for their protection and friendship. We'll need to ring the bell once more to close out the departing ceremony.
So, you were really afraid of this place as a child?
It wasn't the necropolis itself, but what was draped around it. Have you ever been frightened by the thought of dying, Rook?
Hasn't everyone from time to time?
When I was younger, it happened more often than that. That's when I discovered I possess a great terror of dying. It goes beyond dread. Can't be reasoned with or soothed over. It comes without warning. In the dead of night, sunlit streets, a roar, strangling fear, struck somewhere deep past the heart.
That's an issue for a necromancer.
Oddly, I discovered I wasn't alone. I debated this fear with friends. I argued with teachers. Yet, it lingered. Manfred's right. That's maudlin enough. There are struggles, but a watcher should always find peace amongst the graves. And what sort of host would I be if we didn't end with some light refreshment?
That sounds great. Thanks.
Would you mind letting Manfred pour? He does so love seeing the steam rise from the cups.
After Weishaupt, we can't afford to ignore anything to do with the Blight. The Gloomhowler was working with Darkspawn. I should help Davrin when he learns more about it.